You're listening to MarceyLynn once again on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
Thank you, Harry. I missed you so much. Guys, I'm back in the studio. Harry is back with his new knee. I am so excited to be back, y'all. It's something different. I love doing the pre-records. I love sending you all that information, but there's really something different about being here in the studio, especially after I've been through so much. I missed Juneteenth with you guys. I hope you all had a wonderful Juneteenth. 4th of July was nice too. I did do some fireworks, but let me tell you something. I'm back with the show I want to be back with. Today, I get the opportunity to interview someone that I've watched from birth in my sister's stomach to who the man that he is now. And this is my Pisces twin.
Woo woo!
Yes, Pisces. Mr. Clifford White Jr.
Hello,
My
everybody.
My CJ. Y'all, I know y'all be seeing the post where Denise be like, my king. Nah, that's my CJ.
Listen.
So, we're blessed. My sister ended up having me and I ended up having her. So we just switched children. But today we're going to get an opportunity to see. I know some of us that have been to HBCUs probably think that the kids are dealing with the same things, but I just want us all to have a perspective of how it is. He's completed his freshman year. He's going into his sophomore year. And I know we have these expectations that, he's going to go and he's going to do this, he's going to do that. But it's really different. I'm finding out that it's really, really different for the kids going to HBCUs now. And we have a lot to talk about because I think we're going to have to do this show just on that.
Oh, listen.
Okay. And then we're going to do it on your music the next show before you go back
for sure.
to school. But he goes to Howard University. So he is a bison.
Woo woo. What's it called? What's that thing? HU? You know? Or now they got the 2 class and a girl.
2 class and what?
It's like 2 class and a bird. Listen, I don't know what sound a buffalo or a bison make, but it makes something. It makes something. It's a bird, it's a girl, it's a her.
Whatever. Well, we're going to make a bison say something.
We're going to make a bison say something.
Listen, today, bison's going to say something.
Listen,
yes.
They don't want me on the committee.
That's right. Listen,
I might turn a buffalo into some buffalo wings.
You are going to be at YCL in Washington, D.C., and then they'll know it's on, okay? Because once you're with YCL and you're honest, who I listen, I don't mind that people don't like me, but I love them just the same. Listen. I don't need you to like me to understand that I might be telling you something that could save your life or not.
Yeah.
But
I just need you to respect me.
Listen.
I just need you to respect me. That's all it is. Yeah.
Because if you bring me the wrong energy, it's coming back to you.
Yeah. What's that Kaya song? Respect me.
Respect me.
RESPE. Respect me.
So, CJ. So, first off, coming out of Amistad, going into Howard University. Let's talk about that.
Oh God, where to start?
I mean, when I tell you one of the leading students at Amistad, I mean, listen, if y'all know my sister Denise Jones and you watch her Facebook, then you know the history. You know all the awards and acclimates and all. He's really done a lot in Amistad. But when you get to Howard, go ahead. I'm not even going to say nothing. Go ahead.
Well, one, I would like to say all blessings up to him above and stuff because I couldn't have done it without him and stuff. Thank you for my strong support, my mother, my beautiful mother, my father and stuff. Like, they really instilled in me, like, hard work, dedication. It really pays off and pretty much just taking everything into account when in regards to, like, whether it's, like, applying for an opportunity or, like, just really selling yourself. That's the biggest thing that I've learned. Going or transitioning from Amistad into Howard is really just learning how to sell yourself, especially with my major, because I'm majoring in management, but I also plan on taking a concentration in entrepreneurship. So it was really important.
He got it honest. Let me stop feeling myself. Special.
Listen, that coursework though, it'll get you. It'll get you. But one thing I can say is that the biggest thing that stuck out to me for my years at Amistad and just in general, whether it was like inside of like academia or outside of academia, it's just remaining true to who I was and being myself. One thing about CJ, and if you know any of my friends, family, whatever and stuff like that, never change. The same CJ you get today, you see me and stuff like that, is the same CJ you'll get any other day. Like, I don't put on the front. Like, my mom, she's She's an Aries, big Aries. She'll let you know too. She'll let you know. And my dad, he's a Sagittarius. Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. And I'm in the house with double Aries. I got double Aries now and Scorpio.
And you got a Scorpio.
Yo. And then you wonder why I'm never home.
But all in all and stuff, one thing I can say is that they really taught me how to speak up for myself and really just exude and just put emphasis on who I was as a person and really figure myself out. But one thing I can say is that I've always known who I was at a very like early age and stuff. So guiding through like my time at Amistad, whether it was the elementary school, because I was at Amistad back on when it was like on the boulevard.
Right out of diapers. Right out of diapers.
Right
when
out.
It was on the boulevard, okay?
Right, when it was on the boulevard.
Wow.
By
if you guys know the history of New Haven and Amistad, they started in that building on the boulevard where Elephant in the Room is now.
Yes.
And like literally, I don't even remember how many students were in there, but I would go and support all different things that they had there. And it never seemed like a small school. It seemed like everybody needed their child to be there. And I really feel like it's a situation where everybody should be getting that same education. I'm just going to say financial literacy. But anyway.
No, most definitely. What's crazy is that you brought up Elephant in the Room. One shout out to Elephant in the Room and stuff like that. I love what they're doing for the youth and everything.
Yes.
Like, that's amazing.
Yes.
Taking like, kids from our neighborhoods and our communities and stuff.
I got to tie her down. I've been trying to tie her down and get her over here.
And like really just like, like enabling a sense of structure and discipline. Like we need that. Like, I know I needed that because I was a little, I had my moments. Growing up, I had a couple of moments. But all in all and stuff, it really builds character. And
like I said, you are my child. I know she thought she had you, but ooh, yeah. Like, talk about get it back.
Shoot, no, for sure. Like, like growing up and stuff, like not necessarily in school, but like, I used to have my few little disagreements with staff, administration, or like, my little 1-2-1-2s. We ain't gonna get into that.
Yeah, anyway.
However, all in all and stuff, one thing I can say is that it's all about a learned experience, learning from your experiences and just putting it into use and stuff and utilizing like that facet of yourself in a manner that benefits you.
That's beautiful. And you know what? Going back to like always being the same, even though, we learn more, we share our knowledge, you have a way of sharing your knowledge where people don't think that you're belittling them or you're just giving look, I'm giving you advice. This is advice, but you're going to take it. But like I said, you got that honest. It's just a matter of people just have to listen. You have to listen because it's coming in a respectful, loving way. We have a light that we use so generously. Sometimes we're using it we don't really want to, but it's not our light to share.
No, for sure.
We just do what we have to do.
Oh, most definitely.
I'm proud of you with that. Amistad. We're not going to talk about Amistad and me because if anybody read any of my posts, they don't really want to know what I feel like about Amistad right now.
Listen, you already know I got with Amistad and stuff. One thing I can say is that like
it's bad when you have to say, I need to call CJ's mom.
No, for sure.
And their whole attitude changes.
For sure.
I need to call CJ's mom.
And it's like the thing is that like the amount, like, because me and my friends, a lot of my friends that I made, one thing I can say is that like I think Amistad for like the preparation, I say, as of into how it is transitioning into like college or whatever and stuff like that. But in the same sense, the main thing I do thank God that I was able of going there for is pretty much my like friend group, my support system, and just really finding myself. Like, like I already like, kind of came in and stuff. Like I felt like I had my own sense of character and stuff, but going in there and stuff, I can honestly give them the fact that like, they do enable discipline. They do have a sense of structure. However, it's a difference from having a sense of like structure and stuff and then kind of like, like heavily like you can't really have just one more so than the other. You have to have balance, and it's
because
like
of the revolving door though, CJ. It's because of the revolving door. If I could say very few staff stay in the same position.
No, for sure though.
Forget about it. We don't have to deal but new staff. On top of the new staff, we have staff changing positions that you're used to going to. If you have 100 students that genuinely rely on you being in a position in the middle year, you decide that you want to change it. Some of the people in the school as staff members, faculty or administration, literally don't even understand how challenging that could be for some of the students.
No, but seriously. And one thing I can say is that, like, the sad thing is that there are a few administration or members of staff and stuff that work there and stuff who actually do genuinely, like, care about the students and stuff, but it's so much that goes on within that school that it's, like, undermined. Like, there's, God, I could touch on, for one, Mr. Butler.
Right on top of it. Shout out to Jamelia. She's right there. Right when you said God. Okay, shout out. She said, CJ said, what up, auntie? Forever, ever, ever, ever.
Oh, for
hey,
sure.
Hey, Cherie. Hey, Cherie. Good morning.
Good morning. But, no, like, I can touch on staff such as, like, like, one, I might not name everybody, but behavioral specialists, some counselors and stuff that I've, like, had my college career counselor, like, it was some people who really held me down. But in the same sense and stuff, I feel like I witnessed a lot of the, like, hiccups and the inconveniences of homicide when I was in middle school. Because that was when I was really kind of, like, in my, like, growing stage, but in the same sense of where, like, you want to express your individuality.
More alert and paying attention.
Most definitely. And it's like you're actually learning, like, like, you're basically taking, like, who I am and stuff and trying to utilize it in a sense that fulfills your criteria. You're trying to utilize me as a poster boy. And when you wake up to that idealism and stuff or that ideation, then it's like, all right, now you're going to receive pushback, especially when you're dealing with somebody like me. Yes. So it's like, like, kind of growing up and stuff. And then under that and stuff, I'd have issues with administration. I get into arguments with them rather than, like, students.
Not
and
always
stuff.
Right. This is not a store.
It's crazy.
And I am not a customer.
No, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
You got to remind them sometimes.
No,
really,
for sure.
Like, even though most staff has knowledge that you need, and if it doesn't come from a respectful place, you don't have to take it.
It's a
what you got to do,
thing.
you have to say, look, I'm not going to be able to hear and put everything, all the knowledge you're giving to me in the box that I need it in because you have taken the box in question.
No, for sure.
Because you disrespected me or you once that happens, nothing they say can really work for you.
No, most definitely.
So it prepared you for Howard, really. Because, I mean, I think if you were in one of the regular schools, not regular schools, but one of the other schools, you may not have gotten that strength that you had to have while you're in Howard in your first year. Because a lot of the things that you went through in Howard, you shouldn't have went through.
And the funny thing is that, like, it's God. So transitioning from because one thing I can say too is, like, I mean, it's not an easy job either, trying to, like, kind of implement, like, structure and whatever, especially when you're dealing with, like, some students and stuff. A majority of the students that went to homicide, touch on it, predominantly black, predominantly, like, Latino, whatever, and stuff like that. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it real. I never seen any student that was, like, of, like, a Caucasian background or whatever, stuff like that. The only persons or people that I ever seen in that sense were administration. But I never seen no students never like that. So it's like when you're growing up like that, and the majority of the students, from outside of school, because you see them in the hood, you see them, like, all over and stuff like that.
They're your people.
They're your people. So it's like, kind of transitioning from that to, like, you go to Howard and stuff, and Howard is very much so, like, like, much love and much respect, but it's very elitist. Like, it can be very elitist and very, like, like, some of their, like, standards can be very, I don't want to be, like, unrealistic. However, I will say, like, like, if you're not, like, like, the pick of a pick or the cream of a crop and stuff like that, then you're really nothing. Like, like, you're really nothing, because you go into the school, transition from, like, like, you could have, like, you have a highest of honors, you were valedictorian, you got BSU, you all these different accolades. Your name, and it's like, okay, you come in here, okay, well, like,
none of that,
like,
made a difference.
No, for sure, because it's like every other student is the same, if not done something even more immaculate or whatever, stuff like that. So it's really, like, kind of like a lottery system. It's like you're basically a number, and they're basically trying to shake and rattle who they can get up out of here and stuff like that, and, like, come down and narrow down on a pick of a pick. So then, like, just in general and stuff, once you, like, kind of graduate or you transition from, like, leaving the school and stuff like that, it's like kind of like a guarantee or a reinvestment. Like we invested into you, so now when you go on and you do what you do and stuff like that, you can reinvest back into the school and keep up this image in like retrospect. Because at the end of the day, your success isn't necessarily just your success; it's our success because in the truth, we gave you your name and like we own you. That's really what I've really like learned at like Howard my first year, and especially with like a lot of like things that I had to like really endure and stuff. Like, I really kind of figured out, like, the whole family dynamic and stuff like that. Like, not trying to be funny, but, like, if you're not. And honestly, I could say this, too. Like, it's funny, but it's like, if you're a legacy and stuff or you're an alumni or an alumnus, one thing I've noticed is that, like, you would think that, like, like, and sometimes they do get a lot of pull or whatever, stuff like that. Like, whether your child or whatever is, like, like, going to Howard and stuff and you done graduated and whatever and stuff. They'll like provide you or adhere to you more than they'll adhere to anybody else. Like for me, I'm a first generation college student, so like I didn't really have too many resources as to like go to in relation to like like okay, like it was a learning experience for me, my mom, my dad when it came down to okay which loans to apply for, whatever and stuff like that, and to touch back on like the elephant in the room and stuff like that. But woman who owns elephant in the room,
my girl.
Yeah. Her daughter, thank God for Miss Capri Samuels and stuff like that. She was my financial literacy teacher at Amistad. Great,
See
amazing,
how that works?
Amazing. And she taught me the difference between subsidized and unsubsidized loans and stuff. And I actually utilized that when it came down to like, really applying for the university, because it was like, you apply and stuff like that. But what they don't tell you is money matters. You need to know your money. Like you most definitely need to know like how you're breaking bread, how you're gonna receive bread back, because at the end of the day and stuff like that.
Shout out to Devon for having Miss Caprice. Okay, we'll do that. Okay,
for sure.
Because I know that she got that from her mom. It's like, look at what she's done.
Yes.
And all the battles she's won. Even as she's an adult, her daughter's an adult, teaching you financial literacy, and she's in these battles. So you see that strength from.
No, for sure. And the way she broke it down to us about financial literacy was in a way where it was like respected, like, like, cause it's like a woman from like, the same area, same communities as us and stuff like that. She's not sugarcoating nothing and stuff. So it's like, I don't have to worry about you saying something to me and I'm like, oh, like,
I don't understand
whatever and stuff like that.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, like you think you big now because you went and you got to do. No, it was never like that with her. Like, always kept it raw, cutthroat, always thorough and stuff. And I felt like, going to Howard and stuff, like I've always had that sense of thoroughness and that cutthroat quality to myself. So kind of transitioning from that into that aspect and stuff, the biggest thing I was getting was like, oh, like, he's a little rough around the edges or he's a little whatever and stuff like that. And they will really make you feel like if you come from a community that's a little bit more like, like, I don't want to be like, I don't want to say, I'll say urban. They like, make you feel like you're like you're really nothing and stuff. I don't like, and it was sad because it's like what makes it worse is that you have the option of going to either a PWI or HBCU. I chose here be illustrious, like be illustrious like the Mecca and stuff. So then it's like it's sad, but the students sometimes the administration to make you feel like, dang, like it'd be different if it was like, not saying if you weren't African American, but it would make a difference, like, but it's the simple fact that you are and stuff and you're still kind of like diminishing me or making me feel some sort of way or making me feel like I'm like I don't belong here and stuff. It makes it feel even worse being that we're like,
well, you know what that is, and it's an amazing thing that I say, we always say black and brown, but now we have to remember we need to add an impoverished white. Because that's what it is. Basically, it's black, brown, and impoverished white. They have all of a sudden they become, I hate to say trailer, but they become, because there's some beautiful trailers out there, but I'm just saying impoverished white. Because middle class is middle class and you still have your privileges. But when you become impoverished, you become homeless and you are, Caucasian or closer to that, then you still have a privilege. But it does end up being a situation where if you don't have the financial literacy, and shout out again to Jamelia because she's saying, why do we have to now fight for financial literacy? I've been fighting for years to try to get a business course in the schools that I literally have written from P's, from A to Z, and then putting in some, other languages. But where just getting ready for financial literacy, which we should have been before. Now, you were able to educate your parents in the financial literacy of college loans and things like that. So, which is great because that's a learning experience for them. Your mom's back in school. Yay, my sister's getting this. She's getting this. Go, Denise. Go, Denise.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Never too late.
Never
too late.
Listen, and I'm right behind her because I got to get these last 12 credits.
I know
what
that's
I'm
right,
messing
Auntie.
around with.
I don't know
why I'm playing. But anyway.
And I believe in both of y'all. Y'all gonna do.
Yes,
y'all
we
gonna
believe
do it.
in you. So, listen, I'm waiting for you to open up your business so I can show you how to run it.
Listen. Oh, okay. I love that.
That's where I'm at.
Hold up, business.
Well, listen, it's a franchise, so you know I'm gonna open up this one, and then I'm gonna show everybody else how to do their own, and everybody's making money.
For sure.
There's so many like resources that we need. So, you know, I always tell people, being an entrepreneur is not that hard because there's always something out there that somebody needs. Find that person that's already doing it and ask them if you can internship.
For
you want to do it somewhere else, you know.
Like, and I can also say also thanks to well, y'all Dexter Barbershop, but my Uncle Dex too, and you know.
Shout out to my pain in the butt brother.
Uncle
August
Dex.
is coming. I'm ready.
Because
it's something like August. I turned into like your uncle's assistant. I don't even know, like assistant per whatever is going on. So now we got sundresses and linen and unity in the community and then I got Pastor Donald with Gospel Fest. I'm just ready.
But one thing I can say, and just saying that, like, just looking into like my family and stuff like that, like, you know, like on both sides, like, you know, like my like God for sake, my dad's side, my mom's side and stuff like that, but especially like, you know, like just everybody in general and stuff. One thing that I've really learned is just how to utilize your money efficiently and properly and stuff, and just really learning like just respect and just kind of like balancing the two. Like, you can still be who you are, remain a sense of professionalism, but in the same sense still know that in order for you to kind of conduct business and stuff, you have to know business, and by knowing business you have to know money relations, how to like really just like your relationship with money and stuff, like, you know, because I know one thing for me, I like to spend. So it's like, you know, you're
got
trying
it
to
honest.
spend,
I know your mama.
You know.
Y'all know my sister. You can see her in any store at any time. Yes, I'm talking about you, Denise.
And the biggest thing is just knowing, like, you know, like sometimes it takes losing money to make money. So it's like all in all and stuff like that. If you're gonna spend, just make sure you spend like, you know,
smart.
Spend smart, like, you know, and shop smart. Like, you know, that's one thing I learned.
I'm always telling the kids, look at research these sneakers, get some stock in them, and then buy them.
No, but seriously,
I was like, research who makes these sneakers, get some stock in them, and then buy them. It just makes so much more sense. I have no problem with, you know, wearing Gucci or you know, Ralph Lauren or whatever I'm wearing, because even if it's just pennies, I got stock in them. You know? So think about that.
No, but seriously.
I wouldn't go to Walmart if I didn't have stock in them. I wouldn't shop at Amazon if I didn't have stock in them. Okay? So you just have to remember those things. Family Dollar, I mean, Big Lots, all these stores. Just, you can do it on your Cash App now, right?
No, for sure. It's like
you can look up the stores. Yep. I think, and just get $5 in
little
it.
stock.
You won't feel bad when you go in there and spend $300.
And they say invest when it's like lower, or it's going down and stuff like that. And then once it's on that rise and stuff, either it's
there's
your
filters
choice.
now, CJ. You can put filters on. I think you could put filters on Cash App and Venmo. So you can put filters on those stock exchanged. It just makes sense.
Listen,
and I'm telling the kids, like, look, you just went and bought all this stuff from Claire's. Here's Claire's. Put $10 there. So. Yeah. I'm proud of you. I can't be much more proud of you.
I'm proud of you too.
Yeah,
I most definitely am.
I'm trying.
Now the juicy stuff about it.
Now let's go into this because we got we gotta give Howard like Harry. We gave him Howard like 15 minutes. That good? Okay. He's looking at me like 15 minutes is too long, Marcy. Oh, now you peeking behind the computer. Yeah. You gave me all of 10 minutes. 10 minutes on juicy Howard stuff.
We could do that.
12 minutes? 12 whole minutes.
I could work with 12.
Let's work with Howard. Okay, so let's talk about Howard.
So what questions do we have?
Let's start with first impressions. I'm talking about first impressions walking into classes and just your areas that your common areas, all those things.
One thing I can say is that a lot of people would be like, or say that, oh, Howard is ghetto, Howard is whatever, da, 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 because of like I guess like where it's centered and stuff like that, they consider that like the hood and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to Howard and stuff and actually staying there and stuff, I honestly felt safe, like but I feel like in the same sense, like I'm coming from New Haven, Connecticut. Not saying it's that much of a difference.
Downtown New Haven, like
downtown,
you live downtown.
So it's like this is really nothing to me.
Yeah.
However, in the same sense, one thing I can say is them rats. Them rats. I love DC. Shout out to my DC. I love Go Sexy Lady. That's my joint. However, we gotta work on that because DC, we looking a little infested chocolate city, and I love y'all. It is, but it is because it's like it's crazy.
I haven't been in
some
so long.
senses.
Sad. I'm sad now.
But in the same sense of stuff, one thing I can say is that it does uphold a lot of culture and stuff like that, which I love and stuff. And then like in the same sense of stuff, I talked to a lot of the people like that grew up from DC and stuff like that actually like either they attending or like they work there by administration and stuff like that, and they are so lovable, so loving and stuff, and so down to earth too. But the dynamic where it comes in is like the students and then the administration, like not administration but some of the staff and whatever stuff like that they employ. It's weird because they'll like refer to like those who like kind of came up in DC, like know the runarounds and know the ways or whatever stuff like that, like basically grew up there their whole lives and stuff like that. They refer to them as like natives or locals, like like they're a whole different species that I can't get with.
I don't understand that.
I feel like
so
it's
because they're from there, they're
pretty
boxed?
much like if you don't go to Howard and stuff like that, they like some of the students and stuff, like it depends. Some of them. Not necessarily all of them. It really genuinely depends and stuff. But a lot of them will look at them like, I don't know, like that doesn't look safe. That look dangerous. And the whole time it's like, girl, like
it's fine.
Boy, like chill. Like fine. Like you're doing too much.
Overthinking.
Like you're most definitely doing too much. But mostly like first impressions. One thing I can say is like orientation. Like when I went down for orientation, it was really like, I mean, I ain't really expect nothing different. Like people were nice and stuff like that. They put on a good face and everything, but still off rip, I was like, okay, let me just see how long this lasts and stuff. Because
you're like me, it's like okay, I'm okay with the first impression.
Yeah,
but
like it was like I don't mind exchanging information. Like they're gonna ask you for Instagram or a follow back or whatever stuff like that, which is cool and everything. But it's like, let's
are
see
they
who
lurkers?
you really
or are they gonna
are.
interact with me?
I mean, I don't care. You could do regardless. At the end of the day, I'ma still do what I do. Like like, but it's just a matter of like like some of them can be just very weird, very weird.
I don't have that heaven. I don't have that hell to put you in, but I'm gonna stay balanced. You might not be part of that balance.
No, for sure though. But yeah, that was pretty much first impressions. Like it's so it's all about what you make it. I say. But, yeah.
Amazing. So let's talk about some staff, because we got a few more minutes to talk about the staff. Who has been inspirational to you besides Felicia Rashad, of course?
Well,
that's the picture I should have put up here. I'm like, wait, you ain't been there a month and you got a picture with her?
Shout out to Dean Rashad. She's a sweetheart. I only met her once. I only met her once and stuff, and she's very, very,
probably can't too.
Very sweet, very eloquent, very like like. Yes, welcome. Like, come sit down, sit. To the point where it's like you're looking and you're like you're
is she an angel?
Rashad. She's very sweet, but it's like very like
you can
like,
tell don't play with her.
No, she cares about. She very much so values education and stuff like that in academia. If you're not, you gotta come there. Yes, like respectful, very like well spoken and everything. But in the same sense, it's more so of a thing like if you don't know what you're talking about. Like, don't waste my time. Yeah. But she won't, like, she's never rude, never. But other than Dean Rashad, I'd say shout out to Miss Jasmine Young of Warner Music, Blavatnik Center. She has offered me so many different opportunities. Like, I love that lady to death. I call her my second mom, stuff like that, because every time I was in the center and stuff like that was the only person I could really talk to.
That's good.
She's she hails from Queens and stuff like that, so she knows the way because tri-state and everything. So it was like that was the one person who I could talk to whenever I was going through some things, or like whether it was personal things or whatever that I just needed to express. Like one thing I can say, if you're coming from a community similar to like New Haven, Connecticut, like I'm not gonna say the gritty whatever and stuff like that. Nah, Anyway, if you're coming from a community similar to such and stuff like that, you're going to undergo some form of imposter syndrome. Like, you know, there's gonna be some things out there that's gonna make you feel like do I really like even belong here? Do I really even? Yeah. And that's a real thing too. Like even just being a student in general, like it's not easy. And a lot of people like kind of struggle with the fact of admitting, like, you know, sometimes you just get to a point where it's like, it's not that you don't know what you're doing with your life, but in the same sense, sometimes God has different plans for your trajectory. Yeah. And sometimes you have to really question, like, dang, like, is this really something I'm really even passionate about?
And you know, it's how I am. One of my sayings, and I'm glad we're at the end of the show because I could just say, you know, I always say, we want what we want when we want it, but it's not going to be given to us as what we need. And when we get disappointed, sometimes we shouldn't be.
No,
because
for sure.
we're being disappointed because that is just not for us. And I know for a fact that there have been some things in my life that I ran to that I wasn't supposed to, and then I got the lesson out of it. I can't call anything that I've been through a trauma anymore because I've gotten such great lessons out of even the major battles. So in what you're doing, and we'll be talking about your music soon. I can't wait. Forever's got some inside track on that, so we definitely might have to have her on here with you before you go to back to school. Sorry, guys. I keep
and hopefully everything can be situated by then.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get some music on that.
It's coming. That wonderful voice. For sure.
He used to sing to my daughter. Now he sings to my granddaughter. But I would like to thank you so much, CJ, for spending the time with me.
Auntie, no, I would like to say thank you so much for having me. Like, this is really amazing what you're doing.
This
and
my
I'm
baby.
So proud of
y'all know
you.
how I am about my CJ. My CJ. And shout out to Clifford White, the big one. And big Cliff. And listen. And my sister Denise knows I love her. I don't know what I'd do without her, and you know, all the other stuff. Besides not have anybody to argue with. But anyway.
My big head daddy and my mama.
Big head daddy. Big head. Yeah, that's
I
why
love
your
him.
head's
I love them both. Nah, that's why my ear's so big. I get it from him.
Daddy. If y'all, old school name Fox, y'all. I just wanted to shoot that out there, but anyway. Just give some advice to someone that's going to HBCU this year as a freshman, real quick.
Honestly, when you go out there and stuff like that, like, honestly, it's funny because me and my friends always talk about like Trina and Trick dynamic on Love and Hip Hop and stuff. When you hit that stage. But all in all, when you hit that stage, be yourself, be authentic. I don't care whether you're going in and you're not too sure of yourself or you're not too certain of yourself. You're going to find that certainty. You're going to find comfortability in being different and being unique and being yourself. At the end of the day, if there's anybody that you can rely on, if it's not yourself, then it's God. So just have that relationship amongst the two and stuff. And all in all, you should be set. You should be straight. You should be good.
Yes.
And you will find your people. But all in all and stuff, it's about finding yourself first before diving into all that other things. You know?
And don't think you found yourself and you didn't.
Oh, no, for
I'd
sure.
like to thank you all again for listening to MarceyLynn once again on 103.5 FM, WNHHLP, New Haven Independence Community Radio. Thank you to Harry. Thank you to CJ once again. Thank you, God, for another Thursday. And thank you for allowing me to be inside the studio. God bless you all and have a wonderful week. See you next week.
God bless.
We're still on camera though.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.